Hello, wonderful people at TK. This is Miss Harrell, your fantastic librarian and computer lab teacher. I have a question. Have you ever, in your teaching career, tried to make copies of a worksheet for your class only to realize you've run out of copies? What about if you've made enough copies and then you get to school and they say, one of your students says, "Oh, I have a shadow today. Oh no, I don't have enough copies now, and I've already had my planning period." Well, let me tell you about a fantastic website that will make every single worksheet digital and interactive. And if you play around with it enough, it'll also make your slideshows interactive. Now, before I show you this website, I want to make sure of a couple of things. Number one, make sure you're already logged into your computer. Make sure you're already have Google Chrome opened. Make sure that you have signed into your TK Tech account and you have joined the PD Google Classroom. I sent everybody the code earlier, so make sure you have joined it. Now that you've done all those things, we can go to the website. It is called classwork.com. Enter. Now, if you've done it correctly, it will look like this, and you can hit login. Now, I've already logged into mine, but when you log in for the very first time, you will need to make sure you click your TK Tech account. Because this syncs with Google Classroom, you want to make sure that you have signed in with your TK Tech account, because otherwise you won't be able to see Google Classroom very well. So once you've done that, you can work with a file. You can use AI to make a new worksheet, or you can create a brand new worksheet from scratch. I'm going to upload a file from my computer. Now, you could also have it on your Google Drive or whatever, but I'm going to upload a file on my computer, and I'm going to make one that Senora Tarleton would like to use probably in her classroom. It's called Pinata Party. Now, once it uploads, it will tell you, make sure that you're selecting the pages that you want to use. So, because I don't want my students to see the answers, I want to make sure that I only click the one page that I want them to work on. If there were multiple pages, I would click the pages I would want only my students to work on and be able to see. So once I've done that, I can hit submit. And here's the worksheet, already uploaded. So it says, read the Spanish number words, solve each problem, and write each answer in Spanish. So the number words are uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. So now, here's where it gets interesting. There's no way for the students to write on this page right now. But if I insert something, it will help it make it interactive. So let me go ahead and try to solve the problem in my head before I hit the insert button. Uno plus dos. Well, uno is 1 and dos is 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3, or trace. So I'm going to hit insert right up here to insert the content into this activity. So you can see there's a checkbox button. You can see there's a drop-down menu, so if your students, you're worried about them spelling things correctly, you can put a drop-down question on there. You can have hotspot, so like if they are to circle the correct answer, they can just click on the answer. They don't have to actually draw a circle. There's matching, so if you're doing vocabulary, you can do that. Multiple choice, so if you already have multiple choice, you can have them just select the correct answer. There's an open answer, so if there's a paragraph that you want them to write. There's short answer, which is what we'll use in just a second. There's true false for true false questions, obviously. And then for my math teachers, Mrs. Nash and Mr. Potterfield, there are math questions where you can insert math onto there. Isn't that pretty cool? So like I said, I'm going to use short answer for this one. So I'm going to draw a text box, just like I would if I was in Google Slides. And then I'm going to write what is the correct answer. I already said the correct answer was trace. And here's where it gets interesting. You can have them where the answer has to match the correct case in order to be correct. Like if you're writing a name, you want to make sure those students are writing the names with capital letters. You can have them ignore punctuation marks. You can allow a partial match. For example, if you're wanting to say scientific method and the student writes the scientific method, that would be counted as correct. You can also ignore all spaces, which is what I'm going to do because sometimes students put a space after their answer without meaning to. And so we want to make sure that's good. So I hit Save Changes. And you notice up here, it says 1 point. That's because this worksheet will also grade itself. That's why you're putting in the correct answer, so it will grade itself. You can change the number of points for this item. So there are 10 questions. I would say probably 10 points apiece. And then there you go. Now, the reason it currently says trace in that box is just because this is like your little answer key. So let's do another one. And this time we'll do a drop down just to practice. So I'm going to insert the drop down right here. And so now it says you can use a shortcut, A, B, C, D, all these things. You don't have to though. All right, so list of choices. We will say uno, diez, nueve, and ocho, just because it's funny. And then you can click shuffle order. And then the correct answer you select right here. And you press save changes. And then there you go. I'm going to change the points again to 10. Now, you can preview this by clicking view preview so you can see what it looks like for your students. So see, it's not there. So I can type in uno if I wanted to, and then see there, it came up right there, uno. And then you can click get my score. And you can see it graded it for me. It said I got a 50% because I accidentally put uno right there instead of what I was supposed to. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, when you're ready to post it, you hit this little X right here where it says close activity. You hit create an assignment. You can name it right here, whatever you want to name it. Because we use Google Classroom, I would make sure that Google Classroom was selected. Press next. Select the Google Classroom that you're going to post this to. This is how you can select more than one Google Classroom. You can also select the students. So if you have only 3 students you want to work on something, or all of them, you can select all or select, and you can press next. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You have to make sure that you enable the time stuff in this website because it won't do it in Google Classroom. Like you can enable a due date or a time limit, an open time so you can schedule it, a close time so after a certain time they can't work on it anymore. You can assign it immediately. You can schedule it, which is new. You wouldn't used to not be able to do that. Or you can just save it as a draft. So if you want to come back to it, you can auto sync the scores. And then how many points is it in Google Classroom? And it says tip, how many possible points are on the activity right now? You can block students not in the class. So if a student who is not in your class tries to use it, they can't do it. You can disable the submit button if you really wanted to. I would say no. You can have students check their answers before they turn it in, which if this was for a grade, I would say no. If it was for fun, you could say yes. That's up to you. You can have it where they have to meet a minimum score in order to turn it in. After the submission, they can't see it anymore. Or you can show them their score, show the correct answers, all the things. You can give students the option to have all of these tools. And then you press save. And there it is. Now, right now, I'm going to show you what my Google Classroom looks like so you can see what it would look like. So you can go to classwork and see, there it is right there. And when it appears to the students, you can click begin with Google. Now, because I'm using my computer account, there it is right there. And see, there it is. All done. I hope you enjoy this fantastic way of transforming your worksheets.